Close your eyes. Now imagine sinking, slowly, endlessly into black water. No light, no sound, just the crushing pressure of water so deep sunlight has never touched it. Then you feel it, something enormous moving beneath you. This isn't a nightmare. This was reality for hundreds of millions of years. You think the ocean is dangerous now? Great white sharks, orcas, saltwater crocodiles. Terrifying, sure, but compared to what used to lurk in these waters, they're goldfish. The ancient oceans weren't just different, they were alien. Warmer, wider, darker in places light has never touched. And in those depths, evolution wasn't playing nice. It was building weapons, living battleships with jaws that could snap a school bus in half, serpents longer than tennis courts, predators so efficient, so perfectly designed for killing that nothing like them has existed since. Here's what keeps paleontologists up at night. We've only scratched the surface. New species are being discovered every year, some so recently that the scientific papers are still wet with ink. So, in this video, we're going deep, deeper than any submarine, back through time itself. These are the 10 largest creatures to ever hunt the prehistoric seas. And I promise you, what's waiting at number 1 will change how you think about life on this planet forever. Let's dive in.
First, let's set the scale, because without context, these numbers mean nothing. The blue whale, 30 meters, 200 tons, the largest animal to ever exist on Earth, bigger than anything that's ever drawn breath. That's the champion, the undisputed heavyweight of all time. But here's the twist. Blue whales are gentle filter feeders. They eat krill, tiny shrimp. They couldn't hurt you if they tried. Now imagine something just as long, but built entirely for killing. Teeth like railroad spikes, jaws that generate more crushing force than an industrial car compressor, eyes the size of dinner plates evolved to hunt in total darkness. That's what we're dealing with tonight. We're counting down by maximum length, from the merely enormous to the genuinely incomprehensible. Creatures that make Jaws look like a documentary about guppies. Ancient hunters so devastating, they dominated their world for tens of millions of years. Some of these animals you've heard of, others were only discovered in the last few years, and one of them, believe it or not, found by an 11-year-old girl on a beach walk with her dad. The countdown starts now.
At number 10, we have Pliosaurus funki. In 2006, in the frozen wastelands of Svalbard, Norway, one of the most remote places on Earth, scientists found something that defied belief. A skull, 2 to 3 meters long, teeth the size of bananas, and a bite force estimated at 33,000 newtons. For context, Tyrannosaurus rex, the most famous predator in history, had a bite force of about 35,000 to 57,000 newtons. This creature's bite was nearly as powerful, and in the Jurassic oceans, that was more than enough to dominate. Scientists were so stunned, they nicknamed it Predator X before they could even classify it. At 13 to 15 meters long and weighing up to 30 tons, Pliosaurus funki was the nightmare of the late Jurassic, 147 million years ago. Picture a creature built like a torpedo with a crocodile's head.
Its body was jet black on top, fading to a pale underbelly, perfect camouflage whether hunting from above or below. Unlike long-necked plesiosaurs, pliosaurs were built like submarines with teeth, compact, powerful, designed to crush. 4 massive flippers, each the size of a car door, propelled it through the water in a unique underwater flight motion, almost like a penguin, but scaled up to nightmarish proportions. Its skull alone was longer than a grown man is tall. Forward-facing eyes gave it binocular vision, allowing it to judge distance with lethal precision. And those teeth, not just big, they were designed with reinforced roots to withstand the stress of biting through bone and cartilage. The anatomy of Pliosaurus funki was quite similar to modern crocodiles in principle, but the animal was incredibly large. Those long, fierce, conical teeth were lined up against its jawline, teeth that could be up to 15 centimeters long. Instead of cutting through flesh, they were designed to crush and grip, powerful enough to crush the great bones of prey easily. What did it eat? Everything. Plesiosaurs, giant fish, sharks, squid, even other pliosaurs. Tooth marks on fossilized bones tell us Predator X wasn't picky. If it moved, it was food. As an ambush predator, Pliosaurus funki would have followed the pattern of passive patience and surprise. It would stay submerged and monitor the water around it, allowing only its eyes and nostrils to break the surface. Then, silently watching its surroundings, it would wait quietly for prey, and then strike hard and fast. But here's the thing about Predator X. It's only number 10 on our list. If a creature with the strongest bite in prehistoric oceans is only number 10, what horrors await us in the top 5?
At number 9, we have Tylosaurus proriger. 85 million years ago, Kansas was underwater. Not just wet, a shallow tropical sea split North America in half, from the Gulf of Mexico to the Arctic Ocean. The vast open waters offered no protection. Even the shallows were full of hunters who stood there silently, waiting for the perfect moment. And in those warm, murky waters lurked something that ate everything. Tylosaurus proriger. 14 meters of streamlined killing machine. Imagine a Komodo dragon that decided the ocean was home. Tylosaurus had a long, muscular body covered in small, pebbly scales, dark gray or olive green on top, lighter underneath. Its tail was flattened vertically like a shark's, providing explosive acceleration. 4 stubby flippers steered it through the water with terrifying agility. The anatomy of this genus was truly remarkable, but its most distinctive feature, a solid bony projection on its snout, like a battering ram made of bone. This wasn't decorative. Tylosaurus charged prey at burst speeds up to 30 miles per hour, stunning victims with its armored face before circling back for the killing bite. Its jaws were lined with conical teeth, perfect for gripping slippery prey. But here's what made it truly nightmarish: a flexible skull that could expand to swallow prey larger than its own head. The rules of survival were pretty clear: grow faster, grow stronger, adapt, or get eaten by those who did. We know exactly what Tylosaurus ate because some fossils preserved their last meals. Fish? Yes. Sharks? Yes. Ammonites? Of course. But also smaller mosasaurs, diving birds called Hesperornis, even plesiosaurs 3 meters long.
Tylosaurus didn't discriminate. If it could catch it, it ate it, including its own relatives. Cannibalism wasn't just possible, it was common.
At number 8, we have Symbospondylus youngorum. 252 million years ago, Earth experienced the worst mass extinction in history, the Permian-Triassic extinction. Scientists call it the Great Dying. 96% of all marine species gone. The oceans were essentially lifeless, empty, a post-apocalyptic void. The world was a different world. The sun burned hotter than now. The air was wet. The continents were just getting in shape. And yet, 3 million years later, a blink of an eye in geological time, a 17-meter predator was already cruising through what is now Nevada. Symbospondylus youngorum. This primitive ichthyosaur looked nothing like the sleek, dolphin-shaped ichthyosaurs that would come later. Picture an enormous eel with 4 flippers and a head like a gharial crocodile. Its body was elongated and flexible, built for endurance rather than speed. The tail alone made up over half its total length, tapering to a point and sweeping side to side in a hypnotic, serpentine rhythm. Its snout was packed with small, sharp teeth, hundreds of them, perfect for snatching slippery fish and squid. Large eyes suggested it hunted in deeper, darker waters where light barely penetrated. Its skin was likely smooth and rubbery, possibly counter-shaded, dark on top and light below, to help it ambush prey from below. In a world recovering from apocalypse, Symbospondylus was an opportunist. It ate anything it could catch: fish, cephalopods, smaller marine reptiles. In an ocean with few competitors, being big and hungry was the winning strategy. In 2021, scientists described a spectacular fossil that revealed its true size. The implications were staggering. Life didn't just survive the worst mass extinction event in history. It bounced back bigger than ever in record time. Where whales took tens of millions of years to evolve gigantism, ichthyosaurs did it in just 3 million.
At number 7, we have Mosasaurus hoffmanni. 1764, a limestone quarry near Maastricht, Netherlands. Workers pulled something from the earth that changes how humanity understands history itself. A massive skull, clearly reptilian, clearly ancient, and clearly impossible. Because in 1764, nobody believed in extinction. Every species God created still existed somewhere, scientists argued. This skull proved them wrong. Mosasaurus hoffmanni, named after the Meuse River where it was found, became one of the first fossils to force science to accept that species could die out forever. At 17 meters long, Mosasaurus was the apex predator of the late Cretaceous seas, 70 to 66 million years ago. While T-Rex ruled the land, Mosasaurus ruled the water. These marine reptiles belonged to the family Mosasauridae, which evolved from semi-aquatic lizards closely related to modern monitor lizards and snakes. Unlike earlier marine reptiles, which still showed some traces of their land-dwelling ancestors, mosasaurs were fully adapted to life in the sea. Picture a creature that looks like someone crossed a crocodile with a killer whale. a massive barrel-shaped body covered in diamond-shaped scales, like chainmail armor. 4 paddle-like flippers for steering, and a powerful tail with a shark-like vertical fluke that could propel this beast through the water at terrifying speeds. Their long, streamlined bodies, powerful tails, and modified limbs that had evolved into flippers made them some of the most efficient predators of their time. Mosasaurs first appeared around 98 million years ago, quickly rising to the top of the marine food chain. Its head was built for destruction, 1.5 meters of solid bone and muscle, with jaws that could open nearly 180 degrees, double-hinged like a snake, allowing it to swallow prey whole. And inside that mouth, a second set of teeth on the roof, pterygontioid teeth, designed to grip struggling victims and drag them down its throat inch by inch. Perhaps the most impressive characteristic was their tremendous bite force. Some estimates indicate that Mosasaurus hoffmanni may have been able to exert a bite force of up to 13,000 to 16,000 pounds per square inch, significantly stronger than the 2,500 pounds needed to crush a car. It would have been among the most effective biters of any marine predator in history. Their sensory systems improved their hunting further. Mosasaurs possessed advanced olfactory organs which could have potentially smelled prey from afar. They also possessed acute vision, specifically designed for the darker environments of deeper waters. Mosasaurs ate everything the Cretaceous seas had to offer. Giant sea turtles, ammonites the size of car tires, sharks, fish, and smaller mosasaurs. Fossilized stomach contents reveal it wasn't above scavenging either. One specimen died with a partially digested plesiosaur inside it. Nothing that entered those jaws escaped alive. Mosasaurus went extinct alongside the dinosaurs when an asteroid struck Earth 66 million years ago. In one fiery moment, both the greatest land predator and the greatest sea predator of the Cretaceous era were erased from existence. Their disappearance marked the end of the age of marine reptiles, leaving behind only their fossilized remains to tell the story of their incredible power and dominance in ancient seas. We've covered marine reptiles and mosasaurs, creatures that evolved from land animals and returned to the sea. But the next entry, it's something far stranger. A whale with teeth longer than your arm.
At number 6, we have Leviathan melvillei.
In 2008, paleontologists in Peru found teeth that made them question reality. 36 centimeters long, 14 inches, the longest functional teeth of any animal that has ever lived. And they belonged to a whale. Leviathan funke, named after the biblical Leviathan and Herman Melville, author of Moby Dick, was a 17.5-meter killing machine. Picture a sperm whale, but redesigned by nature for pure aggression. A massive square-shaped head that made up nearly 1/3 of its body length, packed with muscle and possibly a spermacety organ for echolocation. But unlike modern sperm whales, which dive deep for squid and have tiny vestigial upper teeth, Leviathan was built for surface warfare. Both jaws bristled with interlocking teeth, each one as long as your forearm, with wear patterns suggesting they were used to rip and tear flesh from prey. Its body was stocky and powerful, built like a battering ram. Dark gray or black skin, possibly scarred from battles with rivals or prey.
Small eyes relative to its head size suggest it relied more on echolocation than vision to hunt. It was a hyper-carnivore, consuming almost entirely meat. And what did this monster eat? Other whales. Baleen whales, dolphins, seals, giant sea turtles. Nothing was safe from this predator. Some scientists believe it may have hunted in pods, like modern orcas, using coordinated tactics to bring down prey even larger than itself. Others think it was a solitary ambush predator, lurking below and exploding upward to catch prey by surprise. Our best guess is that it would have hunted both by ambush and active pursuit, using its powerful body to creep up on prey or make sudden and highly explosive attacks to grab the victim in its powerful jaws and shred them to pieces. But here's where this story gets incredible. Leviathan lived 12 to 13 million years ago, in the exact same waters, at the exact same time as the most famous prehistoric predator of all, megalodon. Two apex predators competing for the same prey, perhaps even fighting each other. The ultimate prehistoric rivalry. And we'll meet the other contestant soon. At number 5, we have Basilosaurus. In the late Eocene epoch, about 40 million years ago, where the Egyptian desert now bakes under the sun, there was an ocean, and in that ocean lurked something from a nightmare. Basilosaurus, 18 to 21 meters of serpentine terror. When scientists first discovered it in 1834, they thought it was a giant reptile, hence the name Basilosaurus, meaning king lizard. By the time they realized it was actually a whale belonging to the family Basilosauridae, the name had stuck. These ancient whales were fully aquatic mammals, far removed from their terrestrial ancestors, who had only recently adapted to marine life. Basilosaurus represented one of the final stages of whale evolution before modern forms emerged, and it looked nothing like any whale you've ever seen. Forget the rounded, streamlined shape of modern whales. Basilosaurus was built like a sea serpent from mythology. An incredibly long, slender body that undulated through the water like a giant snake. Its vertebrae were hollow to reduce weight, allowing this impossibly elongated creature to move with eerie grace. Its elongated form and flexible spine allowed for undulating swimming motions, more similar to an eel than the powerful tail-driven propulsion seen in today's whales. Its head was small compared to its body, about a meter long, with a narrow snout. Speaking of the jaws, Basilosaurus had a jaw that was almost 1.5 meters long and held a formidable arsenal of teeth. Pointed incisors in front to catch food, and large serrated molars oriented toward the rear to cut flesh. That diverse array of teeth allowed Basilosaurus to quickly capture and dismember its victims. Tiny flippers near the front of its body provided steering. Its skin was likely smooth and dark, perhaps mottled with lighter patches for camouflage in the dappled sunlight filtering through ancient coastal waters. And here's the detail that haunts scientists. Basilosaurus still had legs. Tiny hind limbs, about 60 centimeters long, sticking out from its body near the tail, complete with knees, ankles, and toes. Useless for walking, but still there, remnants of its terrestrial ancestors. Some scientists believe males may have used them during mating.
Others think they were simply evolutionary leftovers. Either way, they're direct evidence of evolution caught in the act. Just 10 million years earlier, this creature's ancestors walked on land. Basilosaurus was a hypercarnivore, consuming almost entirely meat. Its stomach contents have been found to contain remains of large fish and other marine mammals, suggesting that Basilosaurus was an apex predator with very few natural threats. What did Basilosaurus primarily eat? Other whales, specifically Dorodon, a smaller ancestral whale about 5 meters long. In Egypt's Valley of Whales, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, you can see hundreds of Basilosaurus skeletons lying in the sand alongside their prey. Many died with smaller whales in their stomachs. One of the most important traits of Basilosaurus's feeding apparatus was its bite force. Reconstructions of its skull and jaw muscles suggest that Basilosaurus produced a wildly powerful bite force. Some estimates place it at around 3,600 pounds per square inch, allowing it to puncture bone and tear through large prey materials readily. Basilosaurus was a whale that ate other whales, the ocean's first truly nightmarish mammal. Although Basilosaurus eventually went extinct, replaced by more advanced forms of whales, it left behind a powerful legacy. A reminder of a time when the oceans were ruled not by reptiles or fish, but a giant, ferocious mammal. It demonstrated how mammals, originally creatures of the land, could return to the sea and once again rise to dominance.
At number 4, we have Leadsichthys problematicus. Not all giants were killers. 165 million years ago, during the Middle Jurassic, a fish the size of a bus spent its days with its mouth wide open, eating plankton. Leadsichthys problematicus, and that name is perfect. Problematic because for over a century, scientists couldn't agree on how big it was. Estimates ranged from 9 meters to an absurd 30 meters. Current consensus, 16 to 22 meters, the largest bony fish that ever lived. Imagine a gigantic salmon, but scaled up to absurd proportions. A blunt, rounded head with tiny eyes and a cavernous mouth that could swallow a refrigerator. Its body was silvery gray, possibly with darker stripes or spots, tapering to a powerful crescent-shaped tail. Inside that massive mouth were over 40,000 tiny teeth arranged on mesh-like gill rakers. Leadsichthys didn't bite its food, it filtered it. Swimming slowly through clouds of plankton, small shrimp and fish larvae, with its mouth gaping open, straining millions of tiny organisms from the water every hour. Unlike sharks, which have cartilage skeletons, Leadsichthys had a true bony skeleton. This made it heavy. It moved slowly, cruising the surface waters of ancient European seas in a world before whales existed to fill this ecological niche. But gentle didn't mean safe. Fossil evidence shows that Leadsichthys was hunted by plesiosaurs like Leopleurodon. Tooth marks scar its ancient bones. Its massive size was its only defense, and sometimes that wasn't enough. Even the biggest fish in the ocean could still be prey. You knew it was coming. The most famous extinct ocean creature in history. We have megalodon at number 3. For 20 million years, from 23 to 3.6 million years ago, this shark ruled the oceans with absolute authority. At 15 to 20 meters long and weighing up to 100 tons, megalodon was the largest predatory fish that ever existed. What did it look like? Scientists have debated this for decades. For years, we assumed it was just a scaled-up great white shark, but recent research suggests something different. A stockier body, a flatter, almost pig-like snout, shorter fins relative to its body size, less a sleek torpedo, more a massive battering ram designed for raw power over speed. Its coloring was likely similar to modern sharks, dark blue or gray on top, white underneath, perfect for ambushing prey from below. But at this size, camouflage hardly mattered. Nothing in the ocean could challenge a healthy adult megalodon. Its teeth, 18 centimeters long, serrated like steak knives, with over 250 teeth arranged in 5 rows. When one fell out, another rotated forward to replace it. A single megalodon could produce over 20,000 teeth in its lifetime, so abundant in the fossil record that ancient civilizations thought they were dragon tongues or giant snake teeth that fell from the sky during lunar eclipses. Its bite force? Up to 182,000 newtons, 10 times stronger than a great white shark, potentially the most powerful bite of any animal in Earth's history, strong enough to crush a small car. Megalodon's hunting strategy was brutally efficient. It targeted the chest and belly of whales, crushing ribs and puncturing lungs. Sometimes it went for the fins first, crippling its prey before circling back for the kill. Fossilized whale bones showed distinctive bite marks, sometimes with broken megalodon teeth still embedded in the bone. Some paleontologists propose that megalodon used ambush strategies, waiting for unsuspecting prey and then pouncing with sudden, devastating attacks. Others suggest it actively chased prey, utilizing bursts of speed to blitz slower animals. Megalodon needed approximately 100,000 kilocalories per day. That's equivalent to eating 2,500 pounds of meat daily. A single large whale could sustain it for weeks. So what killed it? Climate change. As Earth entered ice ages 3.6 million years ago, oceans cooled dramatically. The whales megalodon depended on evolved to survive in polar waters, waters too cold for this warm water giant to follow. The rise of orcas and great whites created new competition. The closing of the Central American Seaway disrupted ocean currents and nursery habitats. The king of the ocean starved. And the fascinating thing? Megalodon is only number 3 on this list, despite being the most famous extinct ocean creature in history.
At number 2, we have Shonosaurus sicanensis. You'd expect a 21-meter marine reptile to be a terrifying predator, right? Wrong. The gentle giant of the late Triassic was essentially the whale shark of its era. 21 meters long, but with a surprisingly small head, a short, toothless snout, and a lifestyle that revolved around slurping. Picture a creature shaped like an enormous torpedo with flippers, a streamlined body designed for efficiency, not combat. Its head was bizarrely small for its body, barely a meter long on a 21-meter frame. No teeth, just a short, rounded snout with powerful cheek muscles. This massive ichthyosaur was a suction feeder. It created a vacuum by rapidly expanding its throat, sucking schools of small fish and squid directly into its mouth like a living vacuum cleaner. Its enormous eyes, the size of dinner plates, helped it hunt in the dim twilight zone of the ocean where its prey congregated. Ichthyosaurs, whose name means fish lizards, were marine reptiles that embodied the perfect fusion of reptilian resilience and aquatic efficiency. Their sleek, streamlined bodies bore a striking resemblance to modern dolphins, an astonishing example of convergent evolution, where unrelated species develop similar features to adapt to similar environments. Its body was likely smooth and dark, perhaps counter-shaded like modern whales. 4 paddle-shaped flippers provided steering, while a large crescent tail pushed it through the water with minimal effort. Shonisaurus was built for long-distance migration, crossing entire oceans in search of food. Emerging from terrestrial ancestors, ichthyosaurs took the oceans and never looked back. Over millions of years, their bodies evolved for speed and endurance. Breathing air like contemporary whales and dolphins, ichthyosaurs needed to surface frequently, yet their respiratory efficiency enabled them to remain underwater for extended periods. In a world of monsters, Shonisaurus chose peace. But peace couldn't save it. Shonisaurus vanished in the Triassic-Jurassic extinction event 201 million years ago. Massive volcanic eruptions released catastrophic amounts of CO2, causing climate chaos that wiped out 80% of species. The ecological niche for such massive filter feeders apparently never reopened. No marine reptile would ever grow quite this large again. At number 1, we have Ichthyotitan severnensis. This giant wasn't discovered in some remote corner of the world. It wasn't found by a famous scientist on a well-funded expedition. It was found by an 11-year-old girl named Ruby Reynolds walking on a beach in Somerset, England, with her father. In 2020, Ruby spotted something unusual in the rocks at Blue Anchor Beach. Bone fragments, massive ones. She and her father carefully excavated what they could and reported the find. When scientists examined what Ruby had found, they couldn't believe it. A jawbone so massive it had initially been mistaken for a dinosaur bone. But it wasn't from a dinosaur. It belonged to the largest marine reptile ever discovered. In April 2024, scientists formally described Ichthyotitan severnensis. The name means giant fish from the Severn, a reference to the nearby Severn estuary. 25 meters long, 82 feet, as long as a blue whale. What did this titan look like? Based on related ichthyosaurs, scientists can piece together a picture. A sleek dolphin-shaped body, but scaled up to impossible proportions. A long, narrow snout filled with conical teeth designed for catching fish and squid. Enormous eyes, possibly the largest of any animal ever, adapted for hunting in deep or murky waters. Ichthyosaurs are known for having remarkably large eyes, potentially reaching a diameter of up to 30 centimeters. These large eyes likely evolved to aid in their underwater lifestyle, allowing them to see in low-light conditions and maintain high visual acuity, particularly in deeper, darker waters. 4 powerful flippers provided steering and stability, while a large crescent-shaped tail drove it through the water at speeds that may have rivaled modern dolphins. Its skin was likely smooth and rubbery, dark on top and light underneath, countershading that helped it ambush prey from below. Unlike the gentle Shawnosaurus, Ichthyotitan was probably an active predator. Its jaw structure and tooth placement suggest it fed on large fish, squid, and possibly other marine reptiles. At this size, it had no natural predators. It was the undisputed apex predator of its world. Part of a lineage that emerged early in the Triassic, ichthyosaurs diversified quickly, occupying a range of niches in the oceans. Some developed to specialize in small, swift prey, while others evolved to crack up hard-shelled animals like ammonites. This versatility enabled them to inhabit the entire world, ruling the oceans for tens of millions of years. 205 million years ago, this creature prowled the Triassic oceans like a living submarine, streamlined, fast, an apex predator that likely hunted like modern orcas, using speed, intelligence, and powerful jaws to dominate its world. It went extinct in the Triassic-Jurassic mass extinction, along with Shawnosaurus and countless other species. Its lineage never recovered. No marine reptile would ever grow this large again. Until now, we thought blue whales were unique in their immensity, but 200 million years before the first whale evolved, something just as large already swam these same waters. The ichthyosaur's legacy is one of incessant innovation. They were designed for velocity, refined for the kill, and propelled by an unyielding will to survive. Today, their closest living comparisons are found in dolphins and whales. Though the connection is distant, the similarities are a testament to how evolution repeatedly finds solutions to life's challenges.
Every single one of these ancient kings is gone. Mass extinctions, climate change, and competition erased them from existence. Yet they still live on in echoes. Modern crocodiles, whales, and sharks are the descendants of those prehistoric beasts, carrying forward the legacy of the ocean's most fearsome predators.